In this tutorial, we're going to look at some of the processes involved when preparing your 3D models for multi-projection setups. Okay, so first of all, I've got a couple of models here. I'm going to bring them in one at a time, and I'm going to be able to show you a slightly different process on each of them. So first of all, I've got a model here called Screen Panels. Let's just get him rotated around correctly, like so. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so we can see that this model is actually a single model in itself. So if I go into edit mode, what that actually means is we'll see all of the available vertex points at the same time, like so. Now, there are times in AI when you want to treat the separate components of a single model separately. This can give us some real advantages when we're dealing with multiple projectors. Instead of needing to use the traditional approach of blending or hard edges or even masking, there are certain situations where just removing that component from the view of the projector will unclutter your workspace and allow you to work more efficiently. So this is going to be the most simple way. So if we've got literally a model which is made up of separate pieces, so we see here we've got gaps between those panels, all we need to do is come into the model, press the P button, P for separate, and then what we're going to do on this one, we're going to choose by loose parts. So it's looking at any piece which is disconnected from the other piece will be separated into its own section of the model. So P by loose parts, and there you go. On the right now we can see all these different components, and actually if I go into my edit mode, let's select one of my pieces there, go into edit mode, there we go. So we can see that we can actually only see the vertex points of this specific panel that we're working on. Okay, so that's great. So that's a really easy way to split things up, but sometimes you want to do things a little bit more intelligently. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to press A to select all, X to delete, and I've got another model which I'm going to bring in here. So this may be a familiar model to anyone that's come and done some training with us. We have the Eric Prydz model here. There we go. Okay, so let's have a think about what we've got here. So if we were to use the same technique on this particular model, we'd actually find ourselves in a little bit of a sticky situation. So that would have split it into separate panels, separate polygons, which would actually give us individual faces, which in some cases is a great thing. But I think that in this particular case, what we'd actually want to get left with is specific blocks of the model, these specific pieces of each section. So I'm going to press A to deselect everything first of all. Now let's, for a starter, let's choose one of these little blocks that we've got down here at the front. Now instinctively you might think, okay, I'll just box select that, so let's press B, drag around to choose the points we want. In fact, that could have been a little bit better, there we go. Now, that might initially be what you'd think would be right, but actually if we go around, you'll see that it hasn't selected all of the faces. It's a little hard to see, but if I zoom in a little bit, there we go, we can see all this inside piece has not been selected. So what we need to do, we just need to change the tool type very slightly. Down the bottom of the screen, in the middle, there is an icon which is Limit Selection to Visible. So if we untick that, so it becomes a slightly lighter grey, now it means it will select anything that falls within the range of the box, whether or not it's at the front or visible. So there we go, like so. And so this time we can actually see it selected every single component of that one. So I'm going to press P again. Now this time, instead of by loose part, I'm simply going to choose selection. There we go. And so we can see it's made it into a separate block for us already. So let's just get another couple of these done. So again, first of all, A to unselect everything, B to box select, and it's going to remember that I've put it on select everything. Then we're going to press P, selection, and so on. So B, select our column, P, selection, B, let's have this one here, P for selection, B, P, selection, B, P, selection, B, P, selection. Almost there, just a couple more to go. Let's move them around a little bit, that's fine. And then we go B, P, selection. Let's maybe bring him down a little bit. There we go. B, P, selection. Then last but not least, B, P, selection. Okay, so now you can see we've got as many components as there are individual blocks. And what we'll do now, we'll get this exported, we'll go into AI, and we'll get it set up in AI and actually see the benefits that this gives. Okay, so now we've headed back into AI. What I've done is I've given myself a basic setup with 2 projectors and one of the models that we've just prepared. Now what I'm planning to do with these 2 projectors, we can see that this model is split into 8 panels across and 3 panels high. And we're going to split it so that we have the 4 by 3 on the left on one projector and the right 12 components on the other projector as well. Okay, so I've just put my screen in there. So quite simply now that I've got it all set up, if we go to our output page, we activate the projector, so we select the projector, select the output that we want to send it to, and click in the window on the right, and do the same with the other projector. There we go, like so. So I'll go back to my first projector, onto the correct output. Now if I zoom in on my little mapping editor on the left, what we can see this time is instead of seeing all of the vertex points available within this model, we only see the currently selected object. So if you remember, we split this into the 24 component panels. So I can use the object plus and minus button here in the controls on the left. You can see they'll jump around in the order in which they were numbered by our 3D application. Now what I want to do, I want to keep this left 12, this 12 here, and I want to get rid of everything else. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to jump through the object buttons until I find one that I want to get rid of, and I press remove, and again remove, remove. Let's go to the next one, remove, 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 next one, and remove, 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 remove. There we go. So what we can see there, this is now all that the projector can see. So it's removed the need for us to use a hard edge blend or a mask or anything like that. But if we actually go back to our visualizer itself, you'll see that it's completely non-destructive, and the entire model still remains. As I said, it's just purely that particular projector's view of the output. Now if we just go on to our other model that we prepared, our Eric Prydz model, there we go, I've got him loaded on the fixture as well. Let's go down to that one there. So I think my lineup should be good, but let's just have a quick check. Yeah, that looks good to me. Okay, so very, very similar process on this one. In fact, pretty much the same. So again, my projector, my left projector is assigned to one of the outputs. The right projector is assigned to the other. And again, we're going to do a similar thing with this one. We're going to say that this left projector can see all of these left-hand components and probably that middle one as well. And then the right projector will see only the right-hand components. So let's start with the right as we're on there. So again, I'm going to zoom in on my left-hand side. Then I'm going to use the next and previous object button until I can highlight the components that I want, remembering to press the edit mesh button, of course. So we've got the center one selected there, so I'm going to remove that one. There we go, and then I can see just there, and you can always see on the left in your editor as well which one you've got selected. Just going to remove the unnecessary ones, like so. So now if I go to my other projector, so again I'm going to cycle through my objects, and I'm going to remove the ones that I don't want. Now if by accident you maybe remove the wrong component, like so, it's very easy. All you need to do, you just keep removing all of the components and they'll all appear again. So if I just get rid of those components that I've got on the right there, and then we're done. The real benefit of this is it saves us a massive amount of time with blending and creating masks and all that kind of stuff, and it allows us to deal with very high complex geometric shapes, and really take out a lot of the hard work for you.